All right, I think we're live. It's cold in Sedona. I'm not in Sedona. I'm in Phoenix. Actually, it was like freezing last night. Cold in Arizona, that's for sure. Light and dark masters, love and denial. So I'm sitting here, just free floating. I don't, and you sort of dwell dhyana, which is sort of swinging in a jula. You're sort of swinging, relaxed meditation without no forcing, no military, no push. You just sort of alight upon. You drop your attention like a butterfly or a dragonfly. The butterfly is good, the dragonfly is questionable. Landing on a reed in the river, you just lightly place your attention on something and it starts revealing things to you. I'm going to do a video maybe on the library of the ethers. Reading books is sort of really slow. Putting your attention directly on something, it reveals itself to you. All things, everything will share itself with you. Everything will share itself with you if you're open, non-judgmental, just noticing, just aware consciousness. By the way, guys, I'm doing the webcasts, and this is the only sort of thing I'm doing much lately. I'm doing very few personal sessions. And there's a way to contribute here, like if you like what I say, if it's valuable to you, there should be a way to contribute during the chat money, because I still need to survive. Anyway, if I don't have that turned on, I'll figure it out next time, but I think it is. So light and dark masters. And by the way, if you do contribute, your comment goes to the top and sits at the top of the comment list, so you get to share your stuff. So I'm sitting here tapping into denial. A couple of people in my life that I know, and I tap right into the whole system of denying, meaning we deny our true feelings, you deny your chakras, you deny your honest response, your natural response, in order to fit in, look good, get the job, get the man, get the woman. We put on a fake presentation face. We go be frontin', you be frontin', right? Putting on a front. Or you're afraid and we're shoving things down. Denial. And then you get beings, the dark masters, if you will, and at a certain level you can't tell the difference. Dark and light masters are simply masters. I was posting this morning, a friend of mine sent me, of the devil and Jesus shaking hands. And I've experienced meeting, quote, what we call the devil in ayahuasca ceremonies. Now, I was scared ahead of time because of all the programming. And I've actually had it happen in a personal session with a very educated woman attending the Einstein Institute there in Zurich, where Jesus and Lucifer both showed up at the same time. And we're shaking hands, high-fiving each other, because we hit a non-duality space. We were beyond the knowledge, the understanding of good and evil. It was wonderful. There was no opposition, no opposites, no taking opposite sides. It was just an energy game. And so when people are in denial, you get millions of people in denial trying to put on a good face and put on their ivory soap and have fake boob jobs, and men have buttoned calf implants or penis extensions or whatever, right? We're putting on a front. And I'm not saying all of that has its place. There's nothing wrong with all that. But obviously when it becomes fanatic, we turn into the grotesque things we fear. God bless us all, right? Our plastic surgeries go bad and it goes grotesque in the literal sense of that word. But when you have millions of people in denial, it's very easy to herd them. Go this way, like when they herd cattle. You just pull the strings of the collective denial. So the devil's kind of, it's fucking boring here on earth. It's so easy to control people, right? You do a 9/11, you put the fear of whatever. It's a huge, so fear as a motivator in denial. This is when people do things they would never otherwise do. They go along with a dictator to kill the other, millions of other people, Stalin, Mao, Hitler. Deeper, the deep state cabals that's going on, No names shall be named. You figure it out yourself. It's fairly obvious. And so you can manipulate, pull the strings using the denial that's in everyone. You can't fool someone who is enlightened or awake or aware, like a child. Become ye as little children, thank you. Become ye as little children. You will not enter the kingdom of heaven, the oneness, the awakeness, the awareness, the Buddhahood, the sainthood, the Christhood, unless you become as little children, meaning what? You're purely experiencing. You don't have a bunch of built-up denial that the Satan, if you will, allegorically, can yank your chains with and get you to jump through hoops and do certain things. So it's very easy when you have whole populations in denial to create wars. It's so easy. We all know Ford Motor Company selling tanks to Nazis, you know. The Bush family, Prescott Bush, is actually the financier with Fritz Thyssen, you know, for the Second World War. Hello! He gets censured by the Congress, but we don't want to know that. We just want to worship the Bushes, for example. And the same with Obamas and Clintons. It's the same cabal, you know. And so then when you get someone that's outside the box, like a Bernie or a Trump, although Bernie lately, when he's running again, looks like he's surrendered to the Democratic politics instead of huge changes. But anyway, my opinion. So it's easy to control people in denial. You just scare them, boo, and they go, oh, I got to do what they tell me, right? So there's two motivators. The motivator is love and light, you know, Jesus, or love. This will feel good. This will be oneness. This will be beyond the fear. And then the fear is the unconscious motivator, the carrot and the stick, if you will. So, and even something like the law of one, right? The raw material, the law of one, it says, purports to be the law of one, but then it immediately goes into a duality with service to self and service to others. Notice that? Learn to discern, right? So that which is the highest teaching, some people purport, the law of one, the raw material. I've enjoyed reading them and the truer history of this planetary system, but it's all made up. You know, if you don't like it, then read the Urantia book. That's a, you know, giant fucking thing about the history of whatever you want. But so the law of one immediately goes into, well, the service to self. That's evil, the dark masters, right? Manipulating your fear, controlling, right? The devil, Satan, Lucifer, right? Although Lucifer is questionable because he really is the son of the morning star, right? I haven't met him yet, so I can't really speak to that. But with Jesus, and he's been hardcore with me too. I've met him 3 times. Once during ayahuasca ceremonies and twice during absolute broad daylight of no ceremony at all. And generally he tends to be the good guy, the good cop, to try to help us awaken with love, light, with promise, with healing, right? So the law of one divides itself right away into service to self, service to others. But if you look deeper at that, maybe, my sense of it lately, and then when I was sitting here this morning and looking into how denial works, I couldn't find any judgment in me anymore of, that's wrong to be a dark master, right? It is good to be a light master. I couldn't find that. If it's all energy, what's the difference? Are we going to argue with what is? I can't do that anymore. It hurts too much to argue with is. What is. Fear has its place. Denial, motivation has its place. You know, some people need fear to motivate them. I still do, apparently. I'm not done with that. I'm not into pure oneness and Advaita, and I don't care about my body, or I'm not there yet. I'm not strong enough to be there. But I'm getting glimpses of beyond the duality. Video I made down in this park here about 4 or 5 years ago. It's called God Does Not Take Sides. Source does not take sides. It's on everyone's side. So maybe the realer law of one is you're beyond service to self, service to others. Service to self is service to others in the big picture. Now, if you're not aware of it, I saw a scene of my future, potentially. If we're souls, we're playing many parts. We play the good guy, Jesus, Buddha, so forth, Krishna, or we play the bad guy, the devil, Satan, you know, whoever fought against Krishna, I forget his name, Rashavara or Ravana or something, you know. So there's always a good and bad inside the world of duality. Is there a place beyond? Be ye therefore beyond the duality. Is there? I'm feeling it, intimations. It's like often the bad guy is the one that shows you your faults and your strengths. The Toltec saying that a good enemy is a wonderful thing to find. Why? Because it shows you your own bullshit. If you're just hanging around everyone who's kissing your ass or saying, "Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, I totally understand. They are evil. You're just a victim." Is that helpful on the real spiritual path? It's not so helpful, I don't think. Or we gather collectively in some group. Notice how cults, you get a bunch of yes-sayers in a cult. Oh, here's the master, and they're all feeding on each other, the group, right? He's so good, and he's helping us awaken. Of course, they never do awaken. Some weird shit happens. They end up storing guns in the basement in Montana and waiting for Armageddon, and they all start shooting each other. Or they poison the food or something. Because we're still playing in us versus them, us good, they bad. Separation. Anyway, I can just feel how easy it is to manipulate people with denial and also to motivate them with love and light. Some people aren't motivatable with love and light. Well, then they get the stick. They get the devil. They get the military. They get the cops. They get, their kids on drugs. Whatever it is. And none of it's wrong. So the law of real one, maybe I don't feel it takes sides. It's like, thank you, devil. All right, I'll tell the story. In an ayahuasca ceremony, my helper shaman told me about the first time, quote, the devil showed up in the ceremony. And we have such a collective fear of it. It's very tentative. He was working with about 12 people, 20 people. And I know when he told me the story, by the way, that I would get to encounter the devil too, right? Oh, then you're like, I'd rather go back to my accounting job in my cubicle, and I just want to keep it scientism and sort of a polite spirituality or comfortable yoga. I want to do yoga and be a vegan. I'm making light. That's me, by the way. I just described yoga and vegan for many years. Not vegan, I was a vegetarian. My Swedish genes couldn't handle the vegan thing. But he said, nothing's happening, like it's stagnant in the room during the ceremony. I may never do ayahuasca again. I did enough, 50 of them. No. I don't know. The future's uncertain and the end is always near. Thank you, Jim Morrison. So all of a sudden, there's nothing happening. Can't get anybody moving. He's singing. Everybody's kind of, it's stuck. The energy's stuck in the room a little bit, or it's not moving much. Says all of a sudden, to his left, of course, appropriately, the devil pops in. and he's got this cheap Walmart red plastic crap made in China, little cape and a horrible little trident that's like barely holding on, the cheapest plastic shit you could ever imagine. And he says, he sits down next to him, my friend, and smoking a cigarette, and he goes, leans over to my friend and goes, tough night, eh? And I'm not going to name my friend. He wants to be private. And he says, yeah. And he's, taken aback, but it's part of his evolution here. He goes, and the devil says to him, you want me to help out? He's like, and he gets the intuitive answer, yeah. And then he sees the devil walk around the room with his little cheap plastic trident smoking his cigarette, right? It's all made up. It's an imagery. We're all masters play with forms. It's just image, right? But it's our collective image. And he's poking people gently. It's not harsh. With his little cheap Walmart trident. And each time he does that, they go, oh, like they'll puke out or the stuckness starts moving. So he walks around the room and pokes a few of the people, and he uncorks the energy of the whole room. And then the devil sits down again and goes, and my friend goes, thanks. He goes, no problem. Call me anytime you need me. He was there to get stuff unstuck, and after that, they had a great ceremony. Now, you may think I'm delusional telling you this. And we'll see if I leave this video up or not. And later, I encountered him. And I knew when my friend told me that story, I go, shit, that's a harbinger, foreshadowing, literally. You're going to get to meet him, too. And I did in a later ceremony. Because I wasn't scared and judging. He was then my ally, helping me go, here's this your stuck shit, Tobias. Because I wasn't resisting or cursing or fighting it. It released tons of stuff. And then you decloak them and they turn into angels of help in the beyond duality place. But in that we're right, you're wrong place, you get democrats and blood publicans. You get communist Chinese against, whatever, Russia versus the US, or you against your spouse, or you divided and conquered inside yourself. I hate my body. I hate I'm ambivalent. You get the left versus the right hemisphere instead of a unified full spectrum human. Now, this is much easier said than done. But just a little hint. What if Jesus and Satan are good cop, bad cop? Trying to prod us, one of them, to wake up through pain, denial, motivation, and one through light and love and heart and play and fun. The devil's really funny, by the way. It's like mafia guys or bikers. I was going to use this as an example. I had a biker friend who was, hardcore, hardcore biker. And we were old pirate friends. And, but once you're in with them, your friends, they can smell bullshit, child molesters. They can smell real evil in the sense of that which doesn't love innocence. So the game between the cops and the bikers, they don't touch the civilians, meaning the regular people. You understand? They're very, or mafia. They take it out amongst themselves, but the rule is don't stir up the population. We don't want any publicity. And if you have those guys as friends, as long as you're clean and pure, or as long as you're real and honest, you're good. They're not evil. They're just a side of direct reflection of the shadow, which is, I would suggest, Satan's, who's not the devil, but the devil and Satan. That's their role, to reflect your shit. No, I'm tinkling my crystals in my little backyard waterfall and wearing white sweet linen all the time, and I'm going to chant myself, Om Mani Padme Hum. The real shit is not like that. The real Tibetan shit, why do you think they have all those demons up there? So you have both the light and the dark, So I'm just seeing it without judgment today. I can see the denial and how denial is necessary as a motivator when we're wanting to go unconscious and sedate ourselves and not be present, not be in awareness. My black Buddha is the one I like best, because like all the old depictions of pushing for the light and all that, the black Buddha feels realer to me at the moment. That's why, or Shiva, or Kali, they're the dark side, but they're masters. Shiva's, galactic avatar. But he's not Krishna. Krishna's the playboy and the fun and the play and the light and the lovemaking and the Kama Sutra and the playing the flute and the heart. Hare is heart. Hare Krishna, They're equal masters. Lately I've been trying to work with Krishna. Because that's my tendency, at least in this lifetime. Maybe in the future, I was shown once also in the ceremony. In the future, Tobias, you're going to be finally willing to play the dark part, the Darth Vader. There's nothing wrong with that, if we want to get beyond duality. Now, you understanding this, it doesn't mean anything hardly. A little bit, it gets you a little bit, but actually working through it and clearing out these ancient judgments. Thor, the warrior for light. I don't want to incur any hammerschlags here. That it's too much light all the time, and you have to drive off the darkness. He has to smash his hammer into the ground, and boom, the light waves just push back the pitch black reptilians that Vin Diesel deals with in that movie. Anyway, so my sense is I want to lay down my sword and shield between the light and the dark, and that means you have to stop judging it. Seems like, all right. So the real law of one, service to self, is the same as service to others. And that's what Source tells us. Right? When you're full of your cup of runneth over love or holding space or understanding, you're willing to play the comforter, Jesus, and you're willing to play the dark guy, the bad opponent that'll make you stronger, the devil. A worthy opponent is a gift from the universe, the Toltecs. I think that's more like they're saying. A worthy opponent is a gift from the universe. If you, all right, anyway, and I'm not there yet. I'm encountering it the last year and a half and encountering the dark side, but step by step as you're ready to integrate that part of yourself. It's the Tao, right? The black and the white dot and the black dot. So both. My experience has been lately that they are shaking hands, the light and the dark masters. And then there's people that the dark masters have to work with that still are into power and control and cabals and all that shit. But they get their own wake-up calls. And even the Law of One says, or even these teachings say that up until the sixth dimension, you can ascend into the dark side. You can be a dark, ascended, enlightened being. Maybe until you get to the seventh or eighth, where then you have to merge. Theory, conjecture, I haven't experienced that yet, but it rings true for me. All right, much love and much teaching, truth-telling, a little bit of harsh truth-telling, a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, which is the Buddha Gayana Mudra, by the way. I'm not doing 666. It's the Gayana Mudra of Buddha. Or this, of Buddha. Both. That's my path lately. Lay down my sword and shield. I don't believe in the duality fighting anymore. That'll just keep it going. Look how divided America is right now between leftists and rightists, right? Which path do you follow, the left-hand path or the right-hand path? Both and neither. TobiasLars.com. By the way, that's easier said. What I'm saying now is very high shit, and maybe God doesn't want me to. I'll talk to him later. I'll delete this video, but I wanted to say it for myself and to the world. But that feels good to me. TobiasLars.com, the webcasts on Sundays if you're interested. Check it out. Where we've probably got 15 people at the moment that are participating from around the world. And at some point it may go to hundreds, but if you want it, while it's still a small group, and feel free to join in. TobiasLars.com, click on the webcast. All right, much love. Where are my non-dualists? Here's one. Allie, come here. Allie, come. Look at this little non-dualist here. What do you think? She kills rats. She's the sweetest thing ever. She's like a little blonde angel, and she's willing to kill rats. How does this non-dualism work? Do you like it, Allie? She's too shy to tell. All right. More to come.